Wow, what can I say? This has been like a spectacular month. I've done all the things, I've done loads of new starts, I've got so much to talk about, so grab your beverage of choice, grab your stitching or knitting or whatever craft it is you're doing, and let me show you what I've been up to for my May Madness. I have had a total blast this month, I will not lie. It's been so refreshing to get back to doing some stitching. Of course, the May Madness with all the new starts, no doubt that has something to do with it. But yeah, it just being able to sort of, you know, sit, stitch, can't do anything else, so therefore didn't need to do anything else. Oh, what can I say? It's been glorious. I'm going to refer to my notes because I'm a little out of practice for all this, and in all fairness, I don't think I would remember everything because, yeah, if you saw this pile of goodies all over the kitchen, and for those of you that haven't been to the kitchen, welcome back to the kitchen. I've actually managed to perch myself on one of my kitchen bar stools, which is momentous after, where are we? Are we at 5 weeks post-op now? Yep, 5-week post-op for a total hip replacement. So yeah, I'm starting to be much more agile and much more mobile. So yeah, I'm loving everything. I mean, obviously, I'm not there yet. I still can't walk without crutches. I can scoot around with one indoors, but as soon as I go outside and there's uneven surfaces, or I go any distance, I'm finding that I'm still doing a bit of limping, which they've said is a big no-no. So yeah, following all the rules, totally behaving myself. Although my garden is in desperate need of me, I'm hanging on in there. Right, so where to start? First of all, I have to say a huge welcome to all my lovely subscribers and a very warm welcome to all the lovely new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying what you see. If you are, please don't forget to hit the little subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, that way you'll always be notified of any new videos that I post up. If you like the videos, give us a thumbs up because we do appreciate it. That way we know that, yeah, you're enjoying yourselves. We're enjoying ourselves. Anyone that does Flosstube will tell you we enjoy ourselves. But there's a lot that goes into these videos. Yeah. I've been meaning to do like a bit of an update for May of all the things. But every single time I was thinking, well, I've got to get it all out. I've got to get the video. I've got to get the camera out. I've got to... Yeah, I wasn't there. I could do the stitch with me's because the camera was already set up and I'd done all that and just left it in situ. But to actually do a true update where you have to get everything out and then try and put everything back afterwards, I just wasn't there. But I am now. So where to start? I have to say I'm a bit overwhelmed. I don't even know. I went onto my YouTube channel and realised that I'm at 17,600 subscribers. And you know when it's just like, wow, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of stitchers. That is a lot of Flosstube people out there. So yeah, I'm feeling the love. I feel it right here, people. I'm so warm and fuzzy. Very warm and fuzzy by the fact that you're all coming and hanging out and subscribing. No doubt when we hit the big 20K, we might need to do something exciting. Haven't quite thought what it's going to be, but it's going to be something exciting. It has to be. So yeah, I'm feeling the love, people. Especially since that I disappeared for 6 months and then I've come back. It's like, yeah, I'm feeling the love. So checking in with the notes to make sure we get this right. So first of all, in the last actual Flosstube update video I had done a giveaway where there was 3 lovely winners for 3 charts that I was given to use as giveaways. 2 of the winners contacted me and I shipped their charts out. So congratulations to you. However, there was one winner that still hasn't come back to me. So the winner of the All Things Bright and Beautiful chart, here it is. This was the chart that was up for grabs. It's a Stony Creek collection chart. The winner was Elaine Helms. Now, I still haven't heard from Elaine Helms. So I'm going to try and ping her and comment on her comment and see whether she picks that up. If I don't hear from Elaine in the next 2 weeks, so say, I don't know, the 14th of June. Yep, let's say 14th of June. If I haven't heard by the 14th of June, then I will go back into that video and redraw on this chart. So yeah, for anyone that actually put their name down to win this chart, there's still a possibility if Elaine doesn't come back to me. So I will do that and post it on the next video. So what have I done in May? With all the craziness and the May madness, let me tell you what I've done. Now I've had to actually print out a print from my Excel spreadsheet to just stay on top because there's so many things. Now, I know I said I was going to have lots and lots of new starts and the intention was to get every single one of those as a new start. However, I only actually managed 4 new starts. And I think I had 6 that I was going to do. So 2 of them I haven't started. So the first one is, she says, the Just Nan Crystal Rose. I haven't started that one yet. So I think that one is unlikely to get started, in all fairness. And there is a reason, and yeah, you'll see what I mean as we go along. So that one hasn't started. However, one of the ones that I did really want to start, I have got everything at the ready, other than one stitch in. I've got all the thread, I've got the fabric, I've got the chart. I'm going to try and start it today, even if I just put 1 stitch in it. And that is the Cream and Sugar Nora Corbett, the teacups. Here they are. And I'm going to start with these ones, but instead of having them orientated side by side, I'm going to orientate them like that, up and down. So I haven't started it yet. It is still the 31st of May. So I have until midnight tonight to just get 1 stitch in, which is the plan. So although it hasn't started yet, it officially will start. See, and I'm just gonna, I was looking at different fabrics for this, but because of what it is and because I want to do them in their sets and the fact that they're all different colours, I looked at some fancy fabric and thought, you know what, let's not. So we're just gonna go white, people. And I think this is a 32 count. Yeah, that's a 32 count, which will make them 100 stitches wide by 100 stitches high. So they're 6.25 inches squared, which will fit perfectly where I have it in mind, which is just over there in the kitchen, so that I can have the little teacups. That's the plan. I have a plan. It's always good to have a plan. So I have the threads, all the threads are at the ready. I just need to put that 1 stitch in, which is the plan for after this video, if it doesn't take me forever to edit this, because I've decided that to try and make this a little easier, I will, as I'm talking about projects that have been whips already, I will put pictures in of where you last saw them and pictures of the finish of what it will look like if they ever get finished. The new starts, again, I will do exactly the same thing, but obviously you won't see befores, you'll just see the picture of what it looks like. At the bottom of the screen, I'm intending to put the information in regarding the threads, regarding the fabric that I'm using, and I'll also put it in the description box below. The plan is going forwards that I'm going to create some sort of Excel spreadsheet thing that I'm going to post on my website, so that way when people want to know what fabric or, you know, what I've used for each of my projects, there'll be like an Excel spreadsheet that I'll update, so that way, yeah, there's always an up-to-date something so that you can find, because I get so many questions about what fabric is that, what fabric colour, where did you get it? And inevitably, when people are commenting on videos that were like, I don't know, from 3 years ago, and they don't always say what the project is, it makes it really hard for me to try and backtrack to go and find what it is that they're asking the question on. So I'm going to put all of the fabric details for all of my projects onto an Excel spreadsheet into the website so that you can see my projects and what I'm using. So that way there's always like a bit of a reference point. Plus it helps me reference because I'm useless. Half the time I don't know. But like I say, I'm going to try and put as much information on the screen whilst I'm showing you the projects so that, yeah, so that you've got the information. So where to start? It's like, do I start with the new starts? Do I start with the whips? Or do I just sort of intermingle them? Do you know what? I think I'm going to intermingle them because they're all in a certain order of when they were stitched on my little spreadsheet here. So I think I'll just try and go in order if the pile allows because it's overflowing. So first on the list, Evening in the Park. Yes, my most favourite project ever. And I have to say, I was holding off on doing much with this because it was just getting more and more difficult. Okay, so the girls just woke up because Lauren woke them up. Don't you just love the kids? So yeah, she's just took the girls into her bedroom. So I might actually get through this video without any disturbances or background noise. So where was we? Evening in the Park. So I have worked on this and I've gone a little bit in a different direction, I have to say. Now, showing you this might be a bit more tricky because I can't exactly just stand up. So here we go. Let's see how we do. So you'd already seen most of the top. I went in and done some of the beading on this side, finished some of the special stitches. Now, I did finish this gate here, which I think I'd already shown you. And then I was like, I should really carry on, do some more snow, maybe do some more trees. And you know how much I love the trees, not... I decided, actually, I need to work my way down and go and do the other corners. So, whereas I did this corner and this corner, it was like, actually, let's go down and do that. So that's exactly what I did. So, I've gone down to this corner here and started on this corner. So let me roll this down for you. She says, oh God, yeah, no, I can't move, people. So, so I've done this corner down here, and I must say it stitched up much faster than I thought it was going to. So I was quite impressed with the amount of stitching I got done. The plan was to try and get that one completed so that it was complete, but I didn't quite manage it. And then I think I'm going to go and do the same this side and then do the outside edges and work my way around on the bottom with the corners. So yeah, I'm very happy with the progress. But like I say, I was sitting there saying, oh, not long to go or not far to go, but actually there's loads to go. And since as now I want to do all the things and I want to do all the starts, this one only actually got 3 days worth of stitching. But we have got another partial corner going on. So super stoked that I actually got some time on it. But when I say 3 days, so this is the difference. The difference of having 3 days when I'm not working and I can't do all the other things means that it's hours rather than just an hour. So it definitely makes a difference. I need to be retired. I need to be a kept woman. It's not working, is it? So anyway, so we've got some progress on Evening in the Park. I do have to actually pull this one out because that one was stitched at the beginning of the month, in all fairness, before I went on my crazy May Madness mission. So, Evening in the Park got a little love. Then I have worked on Summer ABCs. About now you should be seeing where you last saw it. I was using this one for my lives, believe it or not, before I disappeared. But because I was laying up in the bedroom a lot with the hip, these were the projects that I was going to. So one thing I have noticed is because I've been spending a lot more time upstairs and laying on the bed rather than sort of sitting downstairs on the sofa with the stand and all the things. I haven't really done as much on my full coverage stuff, but I've done a lot more with the smaller things that I could take up on the Q-snaps and sit in bed and do and use with my little Patoki stand on my lap. So this one got 1, 2, 3, what did this get? This got 7 days worth of stitching on it. And this is where we've got to. So we already had the bit at the top here. And I'm now, I think the last time you saw it, I'd got to the house. So hold up, she says, if I can stop wiggling it around. So I think last time you saw it, it got to sort of around this part of the house. So I've completed all of this. And I have to say, I've got completely and utterly suckered into the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. So whilst I was sitting there watching the trial live on Law and Crime on YouTube, this was what I was doing. So yeah, so very, very happy with that. So I feel like that one's really moving forwards, which is perfect because we're coming up for the summer. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself. Do you know what I've resorted? I'm going to stand up. Maybe I should move the camera up a little bit. Hold on, people. It's easier for me to do this standing up rather than sitting down because I can't keep sitting down and then standing up. Hold that thought. That's better. And I'm not so uncomfortable trying to maneuver around on a chair. So, okay, so that was Summer's ABCs. And again, all the information will be popping up along the bottom in the description box below. Check out, there should be a link also in the description box below where I'll put like an Excel spreadsheet of all of my projects, all of the fabric that I'm using, and you know, whether I'm stitching it over 2 or over 1, or yeah, all the information for the projects will be in that, which will be connected to my website. So it will just make it so much easier. Probably not for the editing, but definitely will make it easier for the sort of trying to explain everything so that, yeah, so that people don't have to keep saying, what fabric did you use, Teresa? So next up, what else did we stitch on? So we had a new start. She says, if I can, where are you? So we had a new start, of which you would have seen I done 2 stitch with me's during this month on this particular project. So this is my new start long dog sampler tap dancers. It was a new start on the 3rd of May, and this one's had 9 days. But when I say 9 days, I've done a bit, put it down for a bit, done a bit, put it down for a bit. This is where I've got to. Absolutely love, love, love. And so easy to stitch because I'm just using the 1 thread. It's a Silks for You thread. Here it is. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And it's in colourway PR109. So again, this is another one that's on a Q-snap that I can sit and do when I'm in bed. Although I haven't done that because I've had all this other stuff that I wanted to work on. So yeah, what can I say, people? I'm loving all the new starts. So that was the first of the new starts for May Madness. So I intend to hit that a little bit harder as and when I can. Oh, next. Oh, it's so exciting when I've got new things to show you rather than just, and here's one that you've been looking at for the last 6 years. Finally, I've actually got stuff that I can show you that's new and different and fresh. So, next up is my High Heels Collection 2. Again, this is another one of the new starts. I'll insert a picture here so you can see it. This one was started on the 4th of May and got 13 days worth of stitching. And again, because it was on a Q-snap, it was so easy to stitch. And I have to say, I'm going to have a little smug moment now because this is probably the first time ever that this has ever happened to me. But not only have I got a new start, but I feel like I've almost got like a partial finish because I finished the first shoe. So hold on, let me move my little needle minder out of the way so that you can see it. So there we go. Shoe number 1, people, is complete. So I've only got 2 more shoes and that will be a finish completely. But I do like the fact that if you do 1 shoe out of the 3 shoes, it's like a little mini finish. So yeah, love, 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 love. And believe it or not, when I think how long it took me to complete High Heels Collection 1, I mean, that took like forever to finish. I don't understand why. I think it's because I already got 1 and I realised how beautiful it was when it was all stitched up and framed versus just stitched. And the fact that it's actually, I've got a place for this. So the High Heels 1, 2, 3 collections, I'm going to have framed identically and then have them hanging up in my dressing room, like one above the other. So I think because it's got a purpose and I've got a place exactly for it, it's just made it so much more enjoyable. But love, 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 love. So now I've just got to decide on what the next shoe is that I'm going to decide. I don't know whether I want to stitch the purpley one or stitch the black and pink one. So yeah. But yeah, I feel like I've got like a mini finish there. And considering it was a new start this month, I mean, it's unheard of, right? It's unheard of. I'm so excited. So we've been working on that one, and that one did get, yeah, 13 days of stitching. That got a lot of love. A lot of love. Although I was doing it when I was medicated. So I had to keep checking and rechecking myself. Okay, so next up, another new start. So this is a new start from Thursday the 5th of May. And it is the Mirabilia Botanical Gardens. And about now you should be seeing a picture of where you last saw it. And this one I worked on for 3 days. Again, all of the information regarding the fabric should be popping up on your screen. Now, you're going to be like, is that all you've done? But I decided, at first I was like, do I want to do it on a sparkly fabric? But then the fabric that I had, when I had checked in with Kate at Sparklies, she was the one that told me that this particular fabric was almost identical or almost the same as the fabric that I'd seen it on, that I'd said to her that I think I wanted. And she was like, well, if you've got this other fabric, it's so close, you might as well use what you've got. So I then decided, do I really want to go down the rabbit hole of doing skin 1/1, given that I absolutely detest it? But then I remembered thinking back when Luda was saying that she done skin 1/1, but then she done skin 2/1/10 stitch. And I was thinking, well, that's got to be faster. So I thought, do you know what? This is the perfect project to throw caution to the wind and give it a go. And I have to say, I'm surprisingly impressed. Surprisingly impressed. Now, this isn't going to look like much at all, but this is where I got to. Now, it doesn't look like a lot, but that is a whole lot of skin. That is almost all of her neck, most of her chest area, and I just sort of worked my way up towards this section here, which is up by one of her eyes. So, yeah. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it's a lot of 1/1. But it moved so much faster by doing it in half cross. And instead of doing it 1/1 half cross, it's 2/1 half cross. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see once I get my 2/2 normal stitching in around it to see the contrast of it. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But I was adamant I want to get her face done first, so that I do all the worst of the 2/1 half cross. But again, I don't think I did too shabby on that, given that was 3 days worth of stitching. But that was only when I was downstairs, because that's on the frames. So I was doing a bit, then going upstairs, laying on the bed, picking up something else, and then going back downstairs and playing with this one a bit more. So there's that one. Then what did we do? What did we play with then? Then we played with Then we played with, she says, my Bella Filipina Mayari. Here she is. Love, love, love. Again, all of the information will be in the description box below or popping up on the screen as you see now, of when you last saw it. And do you know what? This one, I decided against going 1/1 on the skin, purely because I've never actually done either a mirror or a lady or a, you know, one of those elegant things without the skin being 1/1. And the thought of doing the skin 1/1 on this fabric was just like, no way. No way am I doing that. Am I mad? So I decided against it, and I decided to go with as it was charted, which is 2/2. And I have to say, I've got to try and do this. I think I made fabulous progress. Now, you're going to have to excuse my hanging threads because it would be rude not to. It's me. So this is where I got to on Mayari. Yay! She has a face. She has a face, people. Absolutely loving it. So my plan is to get to the top and then work my way back down to fill in the back portion. It was just that I'm just trying to get myself to the top. But then when I got to the bit where there was back stitch and skin, I was like, well, I need to make sure that I'm getting this right so that I don't end up with wiggly arms and wiggly limbs. You know me and limbs and ladies. So yeah, absolutely love, love, love. And very rarely when I do these do I ever feel like, wow, I got so much done. So much done, because they normally, I'm like, oh no, it's doing my head in. I need to move on and do something else. And this one wasn't like that. Now I don't know if that's because I've done the skin 2/2, and maybe that's why. But I found placing the back stitch. There's someone at the door now. Hold that thought, people. You've got to love Amazon bringing deliveries. Although they're not mine, they're for Lauren. So yeah, so I don't know whether I found it easier with the back stitching because I've done it 2/2 instead of 1/1. But yeah, I'm loving that, loving working on that. I need to pull that one out actually. Although I keep thinking that, I'm like, oh, what should I start today? What should I work on today? And I'm like, oh. But I just want to stitch everything. But there's just not enough hours in the day even now to stitch everything. But yeah, so I feel like I've made good progress on Mayari. She is lovely. And like I say, Mayari got, hold on, how many days did Mayari get? She got 4 days worth of stitching. So we enjoyed that. Then we decided we needed another new start because it was one that I'd been procrastinating on. It was one of the ones that I really wanted to start, but in all fairness, I was totally intimidated by it. And it sort of put me off a little bit. And I thought, do you know what? If I don't start it now, I won't start it. So I just threw caution to the wind and threw myself in at the deep end. I just need to find the project, which is here somewhere in my piles of stuff. Hold on. Ah, here it is. It's in one of my new project bags. I'll show you that when I get to the haul stuff. So again, this one's on a Q-snap. It's the Owl Forest Embroidery Cherry Orchard. Makes total sense because I live in Orchard Drive. So that was the reason it screamed out to me. And this is where I got to. So not a lot. But we've got the little, what do they call that? Little bench and the vines going round the edge. I don't know if you can see it on the picture, but that is slap bang in the middle there. So that's the bit. I've just done some of this up there and that little bench there. But yeah, I thought if I pick apart that isn't too difficult, hasn't got too much on the specialty stitches, then you know, it'll be like the Chatelaine, where initially I'm thinking, oh dear, what have I took on here? And actually when I start stitching on it, it's really not that bad. So far it's not that bad, but let's see how we get on with that. So that one was started on the 11th of May, and that got 1 day. So literally the day I started it, that's how far I got. But I was more than chuffed because I've actually started it. So no more procrastinating. So next, right, so everything else now should be a whip that you've seen before. So where I've got pictures of where you last saw them, I will post them up for you. So next up is Mini Red Queen Red Dragon. Heaven and Earth design, artwork by Alena Lazareva. Do you know what? I'm terrible with names. Other people always make it sound like they're like, oh yeah, you know, I can say that name. I can never say the names. So where did we work on this? Let's have a look. Again, information about how I'm stitching it, what I'm stitching on, I'll put just here and in the description box below. So I'm slowly making my way down. Here we go. And I've been working on this section here, this whole section. I think that's the top of the head, just there. I think that is the top of the head, which is gorgeous. Can't wait to see that pop into life. So I've got a picture of it here so you can see what I mean. But I have a sneaky suspicion that is the top of her head somewhere here, like at the front of her forehead. So yeah, it got a little bit of love. So this one, Mini Red Queen Red Dragon, that got 2 days worth of stitching. 2 days. But again, full coverage, like I say, most of the full coverage stuff hasn't really had days worth of stitching on it because I haven't been downstairs. Most of the time I've been upstairs laying on the bed and resting. Following doctor's orders. I follow doctor's orders all the time. Especially if he tells me to sit down and do stitching pretty much most of my day and just get up and do my exercises. What next? What else got some love? So next up is another long dog sampler. This was my pre-existing long dog and it is Castles in the Air. At the moment it's on a Q-snap. I'm going to take it off the Q-snap and put it on some bars because I've got to the point where I've done sort of one whole half and now I need to sort of repeat because it's almost like it mirrors on each of the sides. So to make sure that I mirror correctly and I don't mess this up and end up with, you know, different colours in different places, I need to make it so that I can see the whole thing as a whole. This one, again, I'm working with a Silks for You thread. I'll put it in the description box below because I can't remember what the number is. I think it's PR161. It is PR161. And this is where I've got to on this. So this one's the one where I'm using the Krynic or petite treasure braid, I think she says. Yes, I'm using the petite treasure braids. I've got some pinks and I've got some blacks, and every now and then when I feel randomly like I want to, I've been putting a sparkly thread in. So the last time you saw this I was up here, so I've done this section down here. Again, like I say, I've just got to the center point, so a lot of the stuff that comes up here is reflective of this over here. So I need to make sure that I'm putting the right colors in the right places. But love, love, love. Love that. So Castles in the Air, it got 1 day. 1 day's worth of stitching. But like I say, I was laying up on the bed, totally engrossed in the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial on Law and Crime, which for us here in the UK, starts at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon and goes on till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So literally, it was just me on the bed with the girls listening to that in the background and focusing on my stitching, which, yeah, I'm easily distracted otherwise. Right, I've just dropped something, so bear with, people. Oh, yeah. I've sussed out how to get down towards the floor now, so rather than trying to actually bend, because I can't, I just have to stick my leg out behind me, but it's, yeah, it's very... It's not quite a curtsy because I don't cross my legs, but I've just sort of laying one leg on the floor. Okay, so Castles in the Air. So next up was my Winter by Cricket Collection. This one got 2 days. Well, I did some on it, and then whilst I was at, no, actually I only got 1 day. It got 1 day at a retreat that I went to. I'll talk about that momentarily. So last time you saw this, I think I was working on the R at the other end. So I think last time I talked to you, I don't think I'd finished this. I don't know. The pictures before will tell you. But whilst I was at the retreat, I thought I'd come back this way to start working my way on the W and the I. So I finished off the little hat at the top of the N. And I've just worked my way over here, which is where the I starts. So, but yeah, I'm loving that. Absolutely loving that. In fact, so that's now, I've got winter, I've got spring. Well, winter's nearly done. Spring is done. Autumn is done. Which now has just inspired me to make sure that I do summer. I've decided that because I can't really find a fabric that I like the look of, that I think that will go with summer, because there's so many different colours in it, I might try and hand dye my own. So I've gone and got some Rit dye, and I'm going to have a little practice and a bit of play with the Rit dye to see if I can get the right splodges in the right areas, because obviously it's got yellow sun, it's got... The colours in the actual chart of summer are very muted. But then there's some powerful like oranges and reds, like there's a red little deck chair, and then there's some, I don't know, what looks like beetroots and some carrots. So if I went too dark and went with something like pinky, reddy, that type of colour fabric to make all of the actual lettering pop, I'd end up losing the carrots and the beetroots and the deck chair. But then if I go with anything too light, there's so many light, like the U can blend out quite pale. And some of the other letters are so pale that it worries me that if I put it on too much of a light fabric, I'm just going to lose some of the letters. So yeah, I'm gonna. I think that actually is one of the plans for this week. Some point this week, I'm going to do some fabric dyeing and see whether I can make it so that I put the right splodges of colour in the right place. But I think it's going to be predominantly like greens and yellows, I think. But yeah, I mean that could be a whole mess. But I'll show you. We'll see. It could end up a bit like my knitting. Starts off lovely and then actually deteriorates rapidly. So that was Winter Cricket Collection. So like I say, that got one... Well, I say 1 day. It didn't. It got a morning because it was the same day that I was travelling home from my originals retreat. So next up we have... Story Keep Life is an Open Book. This has just been coming out the last couple of days. Again, Heaven and Earth design. Again, all the information below. This one is still on the frame because I'm currently working on it. I plan to try and do a bit more on this today before I switch out for something else. So here it is. And as you can see, I've been working on this portion up here. It's taking me forever, I know, but I'm in no rush. So yeah, like I say, it had a touch on it yesterday and a touch on it the day before. So I'll try and keep that one out for today. Start my cream and sugar, like I say. Get my 1 or 2 stitches in there, and then I'll go back and put some more stitches in this, and then I'll put this one away again. Then what have we got? Then we have got, she says. We're getting there, people. I feel like we're actually making a dent in this now. And finally, yes, finally for the whips, we have Alternative Reality. Again, full coverage, Heaven and Earth design. I'm trying to remember where I was working on this. It's a bit hard to tell, but I'm heading in the right direction. So you'll know that I've been trying to work most of my full coverages so that they stagger blocks all the way across the pattern rather than page by page, because with using the pattern keeper, it is the game changer to do it that way. So most of my projects were worked by page because I was working on GoodNotes. So I've been slowly but surely trying to sort of bring them all so that they're the full design on the diagonal but in the blocks. And this one is almost there now. But then this is my oldest whip. So Alternative Reality. Alternative Reality again was on the frame, so it wasn't being touched on all day long. But it was the one that sat on the frame downstairs for quite a lot of the time through the middle of this month. So this actually got 7 days worth of stitching on it. And this is where we've got to. So I think I've done a little bit more down here, and then I've gone up here and I've started bringing this down. And as you can see, I'm almost at a full diagonal on that one now. And then from that point onwards, I will just work on the diagonal, but block by block. So it's not diagonal stitching. It's just by block on a diagonal across the whole project. But I'm loving this piece. Percentage wise, can't remember for the life of me what percent I'm at. For those ones that I'm on, that I have on Pattern Keeper, in the description box below or in this in the details below, I'll put what the percentage is stitched because it's minimal. I think this is still only 30%, if that, I think. So yeah, long way to go. Long way to go, but Rome wasn't built in a day, as my mum would say. Talking of my mum, yeah, my mum, a lot of people have said, how's mum? She's doing okay. We've had, she got a little virus, which left her with an endless cough. I mean, even though the cough's gone, she's still a bit chesty. She's having good days and bad days. We've had a little wobble the last few days where she's had a few issues, so she's predominantly not been out and about. But yeah, she's definitely better than she was, but she could be better. So I'm hoping that we'll get over this little hump, and fingers crossed the warm weather's going to actually get here, because it's been warm, but it's been cloudy. So it's been cloudy, and I say it's warm loosely, so it's not that warm. For us, it's like between 18 and 20, so it's not warm enough for t-shirts and shorts. And like I say, it's been a bit cloudy, it's been a little bit windy, the wind's been a little bit chilly and a bit nippy. So yeah, we're not quite at our summer weather yet, which, I don't know, all the time there's not too much summer weather, it's fine, because I don't feel like I'm being cheated for not being out in the garden. But as soon as that sunshine comes out, I'm going to be out there. So then the stitching might take a nosedive again, but I will try for it not to do that. So that is, was that the last of the projects? It must be. I was sure that I'd done some on Peacock's Lagoon. Did I? Or didn't I? I couldn't have done. I got it out for no reason. It's just another project to have on the kitchen side, it appears. At least I'm getting my steps in, although I don't think I'm supposed to be doing that many steps. What else to tell you? So, that is the whips. And where we've got to. The lovely Jo from Handmade by Ladybird has made me some new project bags and some new goodies. I don't know if I showed you this one, but I think I might have shown it. But that's one of my project bags. And I've got like the little purse that goes with that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. But whilst I was at the retreat, I'd asked her to do me some project bags because I knew I was going to be doing the whole starting all the things. And I sort of said to her, actually, because I'm starting to put a lot more stuff on Q-snaps so that they're easily portable, because there is a method to the madness. So the reason that I've started all the things is I'm not stupid. in thinking, oh yeah, start all the things, do massive, great big projects. I haven't done that. Most of the projects that I've decided to add to the mix now as new starts are all the types of projects that I can put on Q-snaps and travel into London with them. Because as of, I think, the 25th of July, I won't just be working from home anymore. I'll be going back up into the city, which means I'm back to my 4 hours a day commute. And it's like, well, if I'm going to start new things, they need to be things that maybe I wouldn't be stitching at home. So my plan is to try and use my bigger projects, my full coverages and things on the frames as my projects that I stitch on when I'm at home and on the weekends. But a lot of these new starts are the sorts of projects that I could whip into a bag and whip in and out on the train and do train stitching, because yeah, we're back to that, or we will be. So I have been mindful, and there is like sort of method to the madness. So because of that, I needed more project bags, because I've got more projects than I had bags. So she was kind enough to help me pick some fabrics, gave me my choices of fabrics, and made me my project bags, which I picked up this weekend just gone, whilst I was at my little retreat. So here's the first one, my Queen Bee bag. Gorgeous, isn't it? Look at that. Love it. I've got a little tassel. And I've got the matching grime guard to go with it. And I also got a honeycomb one. I don't know, I've gone on this whole bee thing. It really looks well in the stitching stroke office room though, because it's the same colours as my room. So it's got the honeycomb, and then obviously inside backing fabric, little tassel, and again I have the matching grime guard. Love, love, love. And then then what have we got? The other one's over here. I know I keep going out of shot, people, but I have to do something because I can't sit down. I can't sit down and then try and do it, because I won't be able to reach anything. So you have to put up with it. Grin and bear it, people. So the other one, yeah, I've put my Owl Forest embroidery in. I love this one. This one's just so cool. So this is like a time clock one with an Alice in Wonderland theme on the inside. So there's the Alice in Wonderland fabric, if I can stop it from glaring. Look at that. Absolutely love that. That's the backing fabric, little time clocks. And then I've got the grime guard on around the outside of my Owl Forest. So I have new project bags for all of the new projects. Rude not to. So huge thank you again, Jo, for getting those whizzed up for me so that I could take them home with me. I also asked her if she could do me, I don't know if I showed you this before, I think I showed you this once before. She done these little, I don't know what they are, like desk tidies, like little fabric things. I always put my alts and stuff in there and my scissors in these little pockets. Again, handmade by Ladybird. I'll link to where you can have a little look at all the things. So I already had this one, which was perfect for the living room, and I was like, do you know what? I kept picking it up and trying to carry it around with me, and I was like, do you know what? It'd be so much easier if I had another one, just because it would. So I said to her, don't suppose you could throw another one together for me? This time she's done it in the honeycombs. So I've got the bumblebees on the inside, the honeycombs on the outside, with a little flower and a little pansy on the front. But yeah, so again, little pockets for my scissors and for my bits and pieces. And that way I don't need to keep just carrying them all around the house with me. I'll have like, all I need now is one more to go up in the bedroom. So I've got one for the living room, one for the stitching room, stroke office. So I just need another one to match my bedroom. And yeah, I've got one for every room, and I can just leave them up there with the scissors in and the whatever's in there, so that I've got all my supplies wherever I need to be. So yeah, I feel like I need a drink already. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm getting a bit dry. So this past weekend I went off to I say it's a stitching retreat. It's more of a group of old friends that all got together to do stitching. Now, the people at this like little retreat are all of the originals, the original people that I first ever met at my very first ever retreat. And ever since then, every year we try and get together once a year. Just us as a group, and it's a very, very small group. It's not like a big retreat. There's no shops there. It's just us. And I had a fabulous time. It was so, so lovely to catch up with all the ladies. It feels like forever since I saw them. I mean, well, it's been over 2.5 years since I've last seen them. Yeah, we had an absolute blast. I mean, crying, howling, laughing, joking. I've got to be honest, once again for me, I did very little stitching. We did have to do a mad dash to Oxford. My friend Mary Perkins, who I shared a room with, we become very cosy. It was long awaited, cosy. It was like a girly sleepover. That's the bit I like about it, because me and Mary, when we go to this one, we share a room together. So it's like, well, you know, we stitch all day, or, you know, try to stitch all day. Admittedly, we don't stitch all day. We socialise all day with a little bit of stitching, but then we go back to the room. And although we're going back to the room, we're tired, we're going to go to bed, it's like a little sleepover. So we sit up chatting, and yeah, and because we have so much in common, we just, yeah, we put the world to rights, and we stay up really late. And then we're like kicking ourselves because it's like we've got to get up early in the morning. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, her daughter had a bit of an issue in Oxford. So we got a phone call from her daughter in absolute floods of tears at about 3 o'clock in the morning. And she'd either had to have rung her husband to get her husband to get up and get to her daughter. He was probably further out than we were, so I sort of said to her, look, put your clothes on, I'll take you to her right this minute. So although we was off at our retreat, we actually departed the retreat, went to Oxford. Mary went in and looked after her daughter as she should. Then we woke her husband up at a more reasonable time, a more reasonable hour, and he then drove over. And literally just before he got there, we left. And then he went and got his daughter and took her home because she was at university. So she's now gone home for a couple of days. So me and Mary done like a mad dash in the car. It was a full like all-nighter type thing. So it's a good job that neither of us were sleeping very well anyway, because obviously me with my hip, I couldn't really sleep. So when her phone went off, I was already sort of just rolling around on the bed anyway. I hadn't really been asleep. So we did that. Caught up with all the ladies. Glorious. Oh, the fun we have when we go away and we just get together. I mean, you can go years without seeing these people, and it's as if like you only saw them yesterday or a week ago. So yeah, and even the ones that are not huggers even done hugging this time, which just made me swell, because I'm a hugger. I love to hug, so I got to hug people that under normal circumstances, you know, little pat on the shoulder, that's about as huggy as they get. So that was fabulous. Whilst I was there, my very good friend MJ happened to show me these. They're like needle minders, but they're not quite needle minders, but they work in the same respect. So she does a lot to do with yarns, so knitting, spinning, that type of stuff. And Desiree Ross is a hand dyer of yarns and fabrics. She also does tote bags and bags. So here's her card. I'll put all the details below. But Desiree has done some Dorset buttons that are like needle minders. Because when I saw them, I was like, oh, they are beautiful. So here they are. Look at that. Now, the only thing is, and I did point this out, so I think maybe they might try and make some adaptations, is that it's got a magnet on the back here. She says it's got a magnet at the back here, but it hasn't got the magnet that will stick it to your fabric. So you know, like normally you'd have one magnet at the top, another magnet that fits on the bottom, and then your needle goes on the top and it's attached to your actual fabric. These don't have that, they just have one magnet on. Now, I did point out that actually most people like to attach it to their fabric. So therefore they would either need to put their own little magnet on the back, or for Desiree to supply an additional magnet to make another magnet to go on the back. That said, if you are a Lowry stand user and you like to have your needle minders on the Lowry on something metal rather than on the actual project itself, these are perfect. Or if you just get your own little magnet and put it on the back of your work, it works the same. But I loved it because it was just these Dorset buttons. And I thought they were fabulous. So I've got this one. All of this is obviously her hand-dyed yarn that she's made it with. Love, love, love. So of course I fell down the rabbit hole and was like, I have to. I just have to. And this one, again, look at that. I love that colour. Love, love, love. I think I might have to put this one on Peacock's Lagoon, actually, because it's just in keeping with Peacock's Lagoon. So I got those. So like I say, at the moment they're not supplied with an extra magnet on the back so you can attach it to your work, but if you have something metal that you would normally attach your needle minders to and you attach your needle to that, these would work perfectly. Again, here's a card and all of her details. If you are also a knitter or a crocheter, or you love a bit of hand-dyed yarn, she's based in the UK. She's also on Ravelry, Instagram, and she's got, yeah, hand-dyed yarns and fibres. So yeah, I've got some of Desiree's wool. I think I showed it in one of my videos. I'll link the video up here of the one that's got her fibres, her hand-dyed yarns on it, and I'll link it up here for you because I haven't done it yet because it was part of the set of colours for the shawl, and I haven't quite got round to doing knitting yet. It's summertime, so for me, I think if I'm going to do any more shawls, that'll be either on the train or it'll be more the winter time. But love those. But also my lovely Mary Perkins has also been playing with her little Dorset buttons, and whilst I was there she was like, I didn't realise you was going to buy those. She said, but I did already make you some. She went, and I've done them in your colours. So she's done me these. Look at those. I'm so impressed. So they've not got magnets on yet, but I'm going to put some, I've got some magnets in the other room. So I'm going to stick some magnets on them, and then I've got 2 more needle minders. But these are all handcrafted by friends. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. So thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much, MJ, for pointing me in the direction of Desiree. And yeah, I don't know whether Desiree's going to supply them with the 2 magnets or whether it's just going to be the 1 magnet. But like I say, all you need to do is get I don't know, a magnet off of another needle minder and put it at the back. It works just the same. But for me, it's perfect because obviously in the office, I'm using the desk Lowry, and I don't put my needle minder on the actual work. I put it on the stand, and these just magnet straight onto the Lowry. So love, love, love. What else to tell you? Oh, so I mentioned that I'd fell down a rabbit hole. Of course I fell down a rabbit hole. I've joined the sale. Dizzy Stitcher, Ellie Welly Stitcher, and a number of others have all decided that they're going to do a Pain-Free Crafts Stanley Morrison Dragon. And it's full coverage. Of course, I sort of felt left out, people. So I'll pop a picture in here of the one that I've decided to go with. A very dear friend, Michaela, gifted me the chart almost as if to convince me, in case I was having any doubt that I was going to do another full coverage, that I should do it. So thank you so much. So that is the chart. When I was deciding, because I was like, do I really want to do a full coverage with all that background? Because there's a whole lot of background on there. And I've decided that I want to do it on a 28 count 2/1/2 cross, just for speed in all fairness. That's the main reason, just speed. I decided that, do you know what? I don't really fancy doing all of that background work. So I ordered myself some fabric from Sparklies that I thought I could try and use. Now, this is a first. This will be the first time that I'm attempting to do a full coverage, which is not a full coverage, and try and delete out the background myself and put it on a fabric that hasn't got grids on it. So this could go really badly, or it could go really well, one out of the two. So the fabric I decided to go with was one called Dusk. It's a Sparklies fabric. It's a 28 count opalescent. So here is the fabric, and it's like an ombre. So I think I'm going to use the blue at the top as the top and have it getting lighter as it goes down. Now, like I say, it's my first time. I've gone into Pattern Keeper and tried to chart out, or just basically make it look like I've already stitched the background, to try and take as much of the background as possible. I think some of it's going to be a bit trial and error, in all fairness, because it's not as straightforward as it looks. But the plan is, yeah, see, when you put it the light side with the dark side, you can see it's hugely different. It gets lighter as it goes down. So I've decided I'm going to try and do it without stitching the background, and just try and stitch the moon behind the dragon, and then the dragon and the flowers and the rock. That's the plan. So I have the fabric, I have the chart. Thank you to Michaela. So I went and ordered all of the DMC threads for the chart. This was before I decided that I was going to take out all of the background. So although I've got all of these DMCs, I don't need them all, because a lot of them are for the background. Because, yeah. But then whilst I was away at the retreat, a very, very dear friend who loves normally to stay very anonymous. She's just like Little Miss Anonymous. But I'm outing her today. So Mags, you know who you are. Yes, Mags, it's all your fault. Mags was there, and she had a new start that she was working on. And when I was sort of talking about a new start and you know, not sure about the coverage, do I want to go with the 28 count or 25 count? Obviously I prefer coverage of 25 count 1/1 full cross, but it always takes me longer. She happened to point out that she wasn't using the DMCs, but she was using the CXC threads. So I menandered round to her side of the table and peered over her lovely shoulder, where she showed me her coverage. I think she was working on, I'm not sure if it was 25 count or 28 count. I think it was 28 count. And she was doing 28 count, and I think it was 10, I think it was half cross. And I have to say, the CXC coverage, bearing in mind that she had white fabric with very, very dark, almost black thread, and I couldn't see any of the fabric through it. And she said that her experience so far of working with CXC threads is that they're much more, they are thicker. So therefore she's getting much better coverage. So of course I had a little look at hers. Really, really couldn't help myself, because I'm like, do you know what? That would be a total deal breaker. But I've never ever stitched anything in a cotton thread other than obviously the normal typical DMC or normal hand dyed threads. But after seeing hers, again, I fell down another rabbit hole. So although I've purchased all the threads in the DMC for it, I've also now ordered all of the threads, CXC threads, from a company here in the UK. Now, at first I'm like, I can't justify it. My DMC threads for the dragon, for the Stanley Morrison dragon, cost me nearly £40 in DMC. When I placed my order, I'll put the information here as to where I got it from. So Mags pointed me in the right direction and sent me through to Cross and Crafts. She's got a Facebook account, an Instagram account, an Etsy store. But I literally just messaged her off of Facebook and said, I'm looking to use the CXC threads. this is the colours that I need. However, I've got a start that's supposed to be starting tomorrow. Would she be able to get the threads to me on time? And I wasn't even expecting a response, bearing in mind that this was on a Sunday or a Saturday. It was either the Saturday night or the Sunday. So I wasn't expecting to receive anything back from her, and was like, well, it may just be that I need to delay my start. Although the sale starts with Dizzy Stitcher and Ellie Welly Stitcher on the 1st, I was like, I might just have to wait. But she actually got back to me, and I didn't realise how different they were in cost. So the DMCs over here work out between 75p and 79p a skein. So Lakeside Needlecrafts is 79p a skein. Arts and Designs, again, I'll put the link here. They do their DMC skeins for 75p. The CXC threads from Cross and Crafts are 25p. 25p a skein. So when I looked at it, it was like, it worked out that the threads at 25p a skein was £10.25. They only cost me £13. £13 versus £40. So I've decided that the Stanley Morrison Dragon is going to be my trial of the CXC threads to see what I think. Yeah, so the 1 to 35 codes CXC don't do. However, my lovely, lovely friend Mags, who likes to be incognito, has kindly, very, very generously and kindly said that she has a set of 1 to 35 that she could send me. Now, I'm not quite sure what threads they are, because obviously CXC don't do them. They do feel very fluffy, I have to say. It just says embroidery thread. I'm not quite sure what the brand is. Oh, Rose to Me. So this is the Rose to Me threads. Just want to feel those against the DMC now. But yeah, so I've now got a set of the 1 to 35 in the Rose to Me brand from my lovely friend Max, because she loves to help enable me like I need any help. But yeah, so rather than trying to put DMC with the CXC, I mean, this is it. I've never really tried for my ball coverages and for projects other than, you know, hand-dyed threads or silks. I've only ever used DMC. So it's all about trying new things, right? So that's what I'm doing. So, but here is my pack of rose threads, 1 to 35. Like I say, I'm hoping that the CXC threads will turn up tomorrow so that I can start the sale tomorrow with everyone else. But if need be, I'll just start a day later if they don't turn up in time. But yeah, another rabbit hole, people. Like, I need any help with rabbit holes. I'm going to need a whole new floss storage system for the CXCs now. Sorry about the crinkling. I'm just moving everything out of the way. What else to tell you? So yeah, so there'll be another start. So like I say, there's still a few more starts. I know I said it was only in May that I was going to allow myself all the starts. However, the Stanley Morrison Dragon sale doesn't start till the 1st of June anyway. So that was always a given, that's separate to my May Madness. That said, there is one more project that I'd said on the May Madness video that I was hoping the fabric would turn up from Pole Stitches, and that was the Bella Filipina mermaid. Now, that fabric hasn't turned up, and it is the 1st of the month tomorrow, so officially I shouldn't really be allowed to start that. But because I had it all set to go, I'm just waiting on the fabric, I'm going to include that into my May Madness numbers. So regardless of when that fabric turns up, that's starting. I just can't help myself. Here's a little picture, just so that you can see it again. But it'll be my first mermaid. And seeing as I'm starting all the things, and I had it as it was in the plan, the fact that it's now not in the plan shouldn't mean that it can't happen. Not in my opinion. So yeah, so there you go. So hopefully by next month's update, everything that was new that needs to be started should have started, and that will give me my numbers for however many projects I've now got, which I daren't look. I'm too scared to look now. But like I say, there was a method to the madness. The majority of the projects that I've started are either things that you've got like little motifs, or they're a bit smaller, or you can do bits and pieces. They can go in a Q-snap, they can go on the train with me. Yeah, they weren't all big, massive projects, full coverage and all that jazz. There you go. I told you it was going to be a long one, and there was lots and lots of things to show you and lots of things to talk about. I've probably waffled the iron legs off a donkey, but that's not unusual. Let's not change a habit of a lifetime. On that note, I'm feeling rather parched and rather dry. I really do need a cup of tea, and I need to go and sit down because this leg is rocking now. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being such great Flosstube friends. And I'll see you all again soon. So, bye-bye for now.